All right. So, unless you haven't been on the internet over the last few days, you will know that Tesla is officially accepting Bitcoin for their cars. It's pretty big news here because that actually invalidates a lot of the bear cases for Bitcoin. But I want to go over some information that you probably don't know, and this is going to be extremely valuable to you if you do hold Bitcoin or if you hold Tesla stock. I think more specifically, if you are holding Bitcoin and you plan to spend your Bitcoin on something like a Tesla in the future, you need to know this. You need to know this information. So I really want to go live and just talk about this because, again, you need to know this. I think there's more going on than you think. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just going, oh, we're accepting Bitcoin now. Oh, we're accepting Bitcoin now. There's much more to it than that. First off, the motives for Tesla accepting Bitcoin is what I see behind the smoke and mirrors of it is they want more Bitcoin in their treasury. Now, not only do they want more Bitcoin in their treasury, but they don't want to have to deal with the fees involved in buying it from an exchange. So if they are just directly accepting the Bitcoin, now Tesla is shifting into being a bank in a way because they are getting a lower price point on the Bitcoin that they put into their treasury now. Now, they're basically getting they're putting themselves in a very good position to be basically printing money for cheaper. You know, they get to accept Bitcoin for far less because they're making their cars obviously less than what they sell them for. They're trying to make a profit. So if they're accepting Bitcoin and they already want to acquire more Bitcoin, well, why wouldn't they do this? See, the interesting part is he specifically said we will not be converting our Bitcoin to fiat. That is the terms he chose to use. He didn't call dollars dollars. He called it fiat. That's very big. I mean, you got to remember, this is 50 million people. He pins this to the top of his Twitter with 50 million people following him on Twitter, booping all of our phones. The top thing on his Twitter to 50 million people. The fact that 50 million people follow Elon Musk is staggering, but it's Bitcoin. Hey, we are accepting Bitcoin and we are not converting it to fiat. It is basically like pointing at the dollars and saying, we don't want your fake money anymore. We will accept Bitcoin here at Tesla. It was just interesting. Just like a small intricate detail was the fact that he said fiat instead of dollars. We will not be converting it to fiat. So he basically means the way I saw it is we want more Bitcoin here at Tesla. We want more in our treasury, and we want a cheaper price point on our Bitcoin. So basically it's on sale for them. They're getting it on sale because they get they make a profit on their car, so they spend less money to make that car than they sell it for. They don't have to pay an exchange to acquire more Bitcoin, and those fees add up. I don't know about you, but when you're buying it from an exchange, you can see how much fees they take. And also the tricky thing they do at these exchanges, Bitcoin might be at like 50,000, right? But when you buy it, not only do they charge their fees over at the Coinbase and the Cash Apps and stuff, but then, this is just my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, just my opinion, but say Bitcoin's at 50,000 flat, it'll show Bitcoin's at like 50,800. And that'll be the price point that you're buying your Bitcoin. It like bumps it up an extra % or two. You know, have anybody else noticed that? It's like I always go back and refresh and I'm like, wait a minute, let me check on this exchange here. Okay, Bitcoin's at 50,000. How come you're saying it's 50,800 right when I go to buy it? Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Super sneaky that they do that. But I wanted to go over first the motives behind why they would be saying these specific things like, hey, we're not going to be converting it to fiat. The first thing that goes to my mind is, A, we want Bitcoin for cheaper. So basically, maybe I produce this car for $30,000, we sell it for $50,000, or we sell it for $45,000. So I get a $15,000 deduction, or not a deduction, but on sale price for my Bitcoin now. Not only that, but I don't have to pay an exchange. And also, we are not going to be converting it to fiat. So we are actually going to store our profits in Bitcoin, aka a non-taxable event. Now, this is what I wanted to go over. This is the big news that I think everybody's not looking at as close, because if you want to buy a Tesla with your Bitcoin holdings, this is big. You don't understand this, but say you had Bitcoin, you bought it at 3,000. Now Bitcoin's 50,000, let's say. I think it's 52 or something like that. Bitcoin's 50,000. You want to buy a $50,000 Tesla. So you go, oh, I can just, no way, they're letting me do that? Oh my gosh, I get to just buy a $50,000 Tesla. Wow, I get a Tesla for free. This is crazy. I bought this for $3,000. Now I get a Tesla from it. No, 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 no. You just created a taxable event for yourself. Much different than Tesla getting to keep your Bitcoin and storing your Bitcoin. You, by purchasing that Tesla for $50,000, you now have created a taxable event to the tune of the $47,000 worth of profit that you made. Now, if it's within a year, which odds are it probably is, you have to pay capital gains on that. So now your Tesla is somewhere around $75,000, $80,000. That was a $50,000 Tesla, maybe a bit more than that. So that is the big news. That's like the thing that not everybody knows is the second you buy a Tesla with your Bitcoin, the second it leaves your wallet and goes into Tesla's wallet, now you've created a taxable event under our current law structure. So unless the law structure changes, Kathy Wood recently talked about this, I think it was earlier today or yesterday, about how we need to wait out the laws because we don't know exactly what's going to change. There's going to be so much changing in regards to currencies and taxable events and whatnot. But what Tesla really needs to do, and they haven't announced this yet. They haven't announced this yet because I happen to know that if I buy a Tesla with my Bitcoin, I now have created a major taxable event. And that's not what I want. I do not want to pay gains taxes on my big gain in Bitcoin. That's the reason for me holding it. And that's why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin, because it's skyrocketed over the last year. And we don't really want to pay gains at all, let alone capital gains. So with the last 6 months, we've seen Bitcoin skyrocket. So everybody that acquired Bitcoin within the last 6 months with this huge skyrocketing price, they don't want to pay gains taxes on it, let alone capital gains taxes. So they're probably going to want to hold their Bitcoin. But when you buy something with your Bitcoin, you don't just get to trade it. See, that's the problem. Tesla might get to hold the Bitcoin, but you have created a taxable event. Now, the problem with that is you might as well have hung on to your Bitcoin and bought it with cash, because now you didn't create a taxable event if you had free cash in your bank. But there is a solution to this. There is a solution to this, and I think Tesla could be at the forefront of this solution. And I think it's going to be, this is just me putting this out there in the universe. I don't know if I'm going to be right or wrong, but I genuinely believe the next thing that Tesla does, and this is such a brilliant thing to do with Bitcoin, is to give loans against the Bitcoin. Tesla couldn't, just because, and this is why I think this is really going to happen. They haven't announced this yet. This is just my personal opinion on this. Please hit the like button if you agree. I would appreciate it. It helps get this video out to more people. Tesla has already talked about getting into the insurance industry, right? Because they believe so much in the safety of their cars and that it has autopilot, so it's much harder to get into an accident. So they want to be their own insurance provider. I think they might have already done this. I think the next thing Tesla does is it becomes a bank. And hear me out. If you want to buy a Tesla, I would get a Tesla tomorrow. If they did this for me, I would get a Tesla tomorrow. And Elon, if you really want to buy more Bitcoin for your holdings in Tesla, this is the most brilliant thing you can do. I know if Michael Saylor saw me talking about this, he'd be like, yes, they need to do this. Tesla needs to become a bank because they could give loans against your Bitcoin. They have a ton of capital. They have a ton of dollars sitting there in their treasury. If you want to buy a Tesla and you do not want a taxable event, So you want to buy a $50,000 Tesla for $50,000. You transfer them at the time that you make the purchase, $50,000 worth of Bitcoin. They hold it in the Tesla bank of Bitcoin. They have your Bitcoin, so they have it in their bank. However, they do not own your Bitcoin. You still own your Bitcoin. You give them your Bitcoin as collateral for a low finance loan against that Tesla. You default on the loan, they keep the Bitcoin. However, if you give them the Bitcoin, you qualify for a very low interest rate loan. Now, Tesla, you can use that Bitcoin, make interest off of that Bitcoin, have more Bitcoin in your holdings, and make interest against that Bitcoin by giving out the loan to the person that wanted to buy the Tesla. So it's a win-win. The buyer who didn't want to pay gains didn't have to pay a capital gains tax or any gains tax at all because they still own the Bitcoin, and you are holding the Bitcoin for them. And then now you give a loan against that Bitcoin to get that car. It's like the ultimate credit line. Like, you don't even need to run a credit report. You don't even need to own it. It's go, yeah, he gave us $50,000 worth of Bitcoin. You can definitely, afford the car. And everybody who's a Bitcoin maximalist like myself, well, we want to hold our Bitcoin. We don't want to sell it. And so I get to enjoy the gains of my Bitcoin and know that it's in a safe place. Until I pay off my Tesla, I don't get my Bitcoin back. And once I pay back my loan, I get my Bitcoin back and they disperse it to me. Mic drop. Nobody's talking about this right now. I spent the whole day thinking about this and I'm going, this is the perfect company to do this. It's perfect. It's a win-win across the board. Now, Tesla's taking a risk because they, are giving a loan against this Bitcoin. However, they're taking a risk by buying 1.5 billion worth of it already. And what about people? Some people might default against it and then you can just keep the Bitcoin. They probably won't want to default. Say you gave someone Bitcoin to hold at 3,000 for something that cost 3,000. Well, you're probably going to want to pay off that loan. Talk about the ultimate way to get somebody to pay back their loan. It's like, I want my Bitcoin back. So I'll pay you back my loan. No problem. But that is a collateralized loan against your Bitcoin. They hold the Bitcoin and it's so easy to do. Transfer it from wallet A to wallet B, Tesla's wallet B, your wallet A. They hold the Bitcoin. It's confirmed on our blockchain. We know it's here. It's legit. We have your Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll give you, your car's on the way. Your payment's $1,000 a month, $600 a month. I would literally I would get a Tesla tomorrow. I would immediately do that. I would immediately send you a Bitcoin. I want a Model S plate, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but literally would get one tomorrow. You could hold me to it. I don't know if you would ever see this video. I'm kind of a smaller YouTuber, but maybe if we all smash the like button, it'll get out there. But honestly, this is the solution. It's brilliant. You couldn't, they are already looking to acquire Bitcoin on the cheap, and you're basically doing collateralized loans where nobody's going to default. And also, the person will for sure not default on the car because you hold way more of their money than the monthly bill. So it's like, okay, well, my monthly bill is now $600. I give them, it's $4,000 or $5,000 of it counts as like a deposit or something along those lines. And then my monthly rate is, let's say, $600 to $1,000, somewhere in that range. But they're holding $50,000 or $60,000 worth of my Bitcoin. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to mess up on that loan. But better yet, I feel like you're doing me a big favor because you are a very safe place. You could really say, hey, we have a state-of-the-art facility as our wallet system here that stores your Bitcoin. So we're basically like a reserve bank in a way where we hold your Bitcoin. We're not playing games with it. Maybe they have some way of doing what BlockFi does or these different companies where they make interest off of this. But it's just like being Tesla Bank, having their own capital company within Tesla. That is, if they're going to accept Bitcoin, they got to do that. They got to do that. And nobody's talking about this yet. I haven't seen one video on YouTube talk about this exact subject. So when I put in the title here some clickbaity thing like strategy revealed, It's like, I don't want to be clickbait, but I genuinely think that's something. What do you guys think? Anybody else talking about that? I thought it came to me today, and I'm going, if they don't do that, it's foolish. You have to do that. You have to do that. Because I know in my mind, I don't want to declare a gain. I don't want to have to pay $75,000, $85,000 for a Tesla that costs $50,000. I want you to hold my Bitcoin. I want to keep my Bitcoin, and I can afford the monthly bills. No problem. I will pay for it out of my monthly money that comes in. I have no problem making the payment. You hold my Bitcoin. I get to keep my Bitcoin. I don't plan to sell my Bitcoin anyway. Great. You get to store it. And then when I decide, say business is going really well, I have an extra $60,000 in cash. Well, I want to pay it off now. Okay. Yeah, you can pay it off. Give us your wallet address. Here's my wallet address. Boop. My Bitcoin's back in my account. You're paid off. I have my car. Win-win. Michael Saylor, you were the one that gave me this idea on this because he's been talking about, he's the one that's been getting loans to buy more Bitcoin, and he's getting these low, I mean, he got a 0%. I don't even know how that's possible to get a 0% loan, but he got a 0% loan for like hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars at a 0% loan, and then tripled it or whatever in Bitcoin. So some genius moves by Michael Saylor, but his leveraging and him talking about getting loans against the Bitcoin, somebody holds the Bitcoin and you get a loan against it. And then also the company, I believe it's called like BlockFi or these other companies. I don't know how much I trust that yet. I have to look into it a little bit more. I know some YouTubers are talking about it and promoting it. Supposedly they hold your Bitcoin and pay you some really high interest rate to hold your Bitcoin. I would trust Tesla to hold my Bitcoin against my car. I would do that. And then if it got really good, say you only had to send them like half of the money in Bitcoin to get qualified, they hold half of the money. Maybe you don't have to send the entire amount of the car. Maybe you give them Bitcoin, like half of the value of the car in Bitcoin, they hold that. And then you have a monthly bill against your car. I mean, literally every Bitcoiner would have a Tesla. Every single one of us would have a Tesla. Please, Elon. Whoever can, if you guys can share this video, get this message out there. It is the best possible thing you could do. So I've been rambling. Rich G, I love your fake Rolex. Is that a Swiss-made fake Rolex? All right, you're gonna make my ego go up. If you follow me on Instagram, you would see the post that I made of this one. But I used to have a fake Rolex. I used to until it turned real. All right, here you go. Hit up fake watch busters. Hit them up. Hang on. Let's get real close with it. Should be pretty afraid of that if it was fake, right? Sorry for the ego. Sorry for the ego. Someone said that in the comment. I'm sorry. It comes out of me at times. Trust Tesla with your Bitcoin. He's a suit. You know, they're trusting me with their car. I can pay off my car from my Bitcoin. They have quite a bit of money in the treasury. I would not say this. This is what I'll say. I would not say this if they weren't a tech company. Elon didn't run PayPal prior to selling PayPal. He's got plenty of experience in the banking industry, creating PayPal and selling it for $1.5 billion to eBay. That's where he got his money to do Tesla, to do SpaceX. So, but the main thing is they're sitting on $15 billion in their treasury. They're sitting on $15 billion in their treasury. They can handle it. You can definitely make the paperwork to sign where you know it's a guaranteed situation. If they lost your Bitcoin or something happens, they have to pay you the amount of what Bitcoin's worth. It could be insured. Like that could definitely be written in stone. I think that there's definitely a way to do that. He's saying the Bitcoin would be collateral. The car would be free and clear. Yeah, essentially. I want to keep my Bitcoin. I want to make this clear. Bitcoin to me is something that I want to keep. I want to leverage. The key term is leverage. I want to own my Bitcoin and leverage it. That's what I want to do. So I want to loan against my asset that I want to keep. So they hold my asset. I don't get the car free and clear because I want my thing back. I'm not buying it with it. It's not just that. It's a collateral so that I pay my loan towards my car. I want both. I want the car and the Bitcoin. This isn't a trade. This is, I want both things. I'm being greedy. I don't want to sell my Bitcoin because the key thing here is if you used your Bitcoin to buy a Tesla, you have created a taxable event. And this is why I was on my Twitter. I've been kind of going at Peter Schiff again because the main thing Peter Schiff said. I mean, every single one of his points is getting invalidated. So you got to feel a little bad for him. And he's staying firm. You got to give him credit for staying firm. But literally every single point he has is being invalidated. And then one of his largest points is, oh, you're never going to be able to buy something with your Bitcoin. Well, buying an electric car is pretty cool. Buying the top of the line electric car is pretty cool, Peter. You can definitely do that now. So that whole argument is invalidated. And I would imagine that more companies follow suit. Now, I have always not been into the altcoin thing. So I think what eventually happens is, I think what altcoins become is tokens for companies. I think you import your Bitcoin like a wire transfer, and then you have like Amazon tokens to buy things immediately within their network. So you import your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or whatever to their tokenized network, and then it gives you X amount of tokens to buy things on Amazon or to buy things on eBay. I don't think you're going to be buying but honestly, you could. The thing is, people act like it takes a week to transfer your Bitcoin. It's like a 10-minute confirmation. I've had confirmations within seconds. Like, has all the people that say you can't buy things in Bitcoin, have you even tried to send it? Because I have. I've sent Bitcoin back and forth between wallets and from Coinbase to here and all these different things. And it doesn't take a long time. Like, I don't know why. It's like most of the people that say you can't buy things in Bitcoin have never even used it and have never even touched and felt the wallet or anything like that. But I can tell you from experience, it's really not rocket science. It's actually coming from somebody that has to do like hundreds of thousands in wire transfers a month. It's elegant. It's so much easier. If I could change the wire transfer platforms with the commercial banks to not be a routing number and an account number and the bank and the address of the business name, all of these things, and then double check it, triple check it or whatever. And then you have to go to your bank and sign it, and all these things. If it's over 25 grand, you got to go to the bank and sign a certain paper and do all this stuff. Bitcoin, you literally go copy, paste wallet, or you can it's even easier. Just scan the little barcode thing. Boop, boop, boop. Done. It's like, this is better. And a wire transfer isn't even guaranteed that same day. Sometimes it takes 24 hours, sometimes even 48 hours. So whatever you use to buy something on a wire transfer, you could use Bitcoin. I mean, it's the whole art. I mean, okay, an impulse buy at a coffee shop that you need to buy it within seconds. Fine. But for all of the things that are over $1,000 or something, over $500 or in the hundreds of dollars even, that you just want to buy. I mean, say you bought something on eBay or whatever. I don't think the seller is going to care about a 30-minute confirmation to get the Bitcoin. Like, I don't see that. I wouldn't. If somebody bought something from me at Mineral Exchange and then it took them, 12 hours to get me the money, I would be fine with that. That's not a problem. So I just don't really understand the logic behind that. But yeah, I mean, if Tesla is accepting money, it's accepting Bitcoin. The only problem here, the largest problem, and I'm so surprised that Peter Schiff isn't bringing this up. He's bringing up all of these little micro details. Like, he read all the fine print and tried to come up with something like, oh, if you send too much, they get to keep it. Or if you send too little, they send it back. I forget what he said. Just, it was like really grabbing at straws. Really grabbing at straws. Didn't make much sense. You can go to my Twitter feed. I retweeted it and said some stuff. But what he should be going after is the taxable event structure. That's what Peter Schiff should be going after. This is a taxable event to buy your Tesla. Now, that's the problem with it. It's so easy to find the problem. I'm bullish on both of them. I think Tesla's a great company. I think they're pretty overvalued right now, but I like Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin holder. You know, I'm a maximalist with Bitcoin. That's the problem. The problem isn't like the fine print of Tesla. They're a trustable company. They have a lot of money to back them up, and they care about their reputation. If they decided to steal Bitcoin, or if they decided it's the downside to ruin their reputation would be tremendous. It's just like me. I've done deals where, you know, someone's like, wow, I'm trusting you on a first deal to wire you $20,000, Rob. That's quite a bit. My reputation, to me, there isn't a price on it. So when you find people that care about their reputation, that's where the trust is established. I was just talking with a buddy of mine about how it's kind of a smart contract. Social media and building a brand is kind of like a smart contract in a sense. It's kind of like an escrow thing, because it's like, well, they've built their reputation over 10 years. They probably are not going to run away for a fraction of their net worth as a company. They're probably not going to do that. They're probably not going to want a major turmoil of their reputation being pulled through the mud. And in this day and age, the littlest thing can get you, you know, in a bad place with social media. So I got to be careful when I do these live streams. I can't say the wrong things or something. I like to just be real and go live, but I got to be careful about the things I say sometimes. Mr. T, you know, I love you, bro, but you hate Bitcoin. You are not a fan of Bitcoin. I can tell. And I can respect it. I respect your point of view on it. I personally am a big fan. I'm a big fan. Trezor doesn't work with mobile. My laptop is from 2011. Had to be a ledger for me. You know, I've been reviewing some of these, I've been actually testing out these hard wallets, and Trezor's pretty good. I'm testing out this Kobo wallet. I'm testing out a couple other hard wallets. The Ledger Nano, actually, I really, it was, clicking through it was really bothersome to me. It just didn't have a good interface. See, Mr. T, you gotta tell me what your actual reasoning is to call Bitcoin a fraud. Like, you gotta like actually write down your thoughts instead of just saying it. You gotta write down like what you mean by that. Hey, corrupted in the house. Buy the Bitcoin from an exchange, then spec out your Tesla, then send it from the exchange to Tesla. Probably didn't move much in price for the taxes to be consequential. Yeah, I mean, but that's if you wanted to buy it in Bitcoin and not dollars. I mean, you in that situation though, you could have just paid them in dollars, I think. Oh, but they could hold your Bitcoin. Like if you're just about to invest into Bitcoin, that's actually really smart. Yeah, I agree with you, Corrupted. He's saying like if you were wanted to own Bitcoin and you also wanted to own your Tesla, it would be a non-taxable event to buy it with the Bitcoin. See, if you're talking about if they decide to do what I'm talking about and be, you know, a bank. If under the current structure, then basically it's just kind of like you actually are going to be paying more money because you had to pay a bunch of fees to buy it from the exchange. You could have just bought it in dollars. So, however, if Tesla did decide to be a bank, and they can hold your Tesla as a reserve bank for you, or hold your Bitcoin for you as a reserve bank, that would be brilliant what Corrupted just said. And by the way, thank you so much for that $20, man. I appreciate it. If they're a bank and you bought it at that exact moment and you wanted to own Bitcoin, well, you never created that taxable event. But however, in that same situation, well, I think that actually would drive a lot of people to Bitcoin too. It's like, you mean to tell me I can buy the Bitcoin, keep the money, and then get approved for the loan? I prove that I'm capable of buying the Tesla. I want to own the Bitcoin and the Tesla. So I will buy Bitcoin right now, give them the Bitcoin. They hold my Bitcoin. I pay off my loan at a small monthly rate. And basically I get to own both the Bitcoin for my investment and the Tesla. So when people go, it's like when people go to buy a Tesla, they're going to buy both Bitcoin and the Tesla. It's like, that would be the perfect, that's the thing. It's so crazy that human ingenuity, I think that's the right way to say that, ingenuity, or I don't know about these big words, but something along those lines is astonishing. Like as you go along, humans find a way. You know, if there's a problem, humans find a way to get to some sort of a solution. And right now, the problem is how you keep your money, how you store your capital. You know, we've never seen something like this where 40% of the actual money supply was created out of thin air within the last year. Like these numbers are staggering. And then we have like these individuals that are in charge saying that inflation doesn't exist. They injected 40% of the entire monetary supply of dollars in less than a year. Yeah, they have a lot of audacity to say there's no inflation happening here. It's wild to me. Absolutely wild to me. So buying anything with Bitcoin through a Bitcoin loan becomes an adjustable rate mortgage. No, you would want it to be a fixed rate. What he's talking about, an adjustable rate is where the bank can change up the numbers on you and charge more of a rate. I think this would be I think because of the collateral, you would get they could give a very, very incentivized loan, like a fixed rate at a 2% or something. I think the average loan on a car is like 4.5 or something like that. I think they could give you a fixed rate loan at like 1.5, 2.5% range and then hold the Bitcoin as collateral. Ideally, maybe only half of the car's value in Bitcoin as collateral, and you make payments every month. And it would affect your credit score as well. So you get to, like, that's three things that would be a positive. You get to own Bitcoin and never create a taxable event. And that's already like way enough incentive to do this. And they could, I mean, there's a lot of people that own Bitcoin right now and are scared to like put it in their own hard wallet because it's actually, you know, it's a bit to learn. It to me, it's pretty simple, but I mean, it's a bit of a learning curve to use these wallets. So if you're, you know, a little bit older or something and you're scared on how to store your Bitcoin, you can trust Tesla, who probably can create an open sourced wallet that's just extremely secure. They probably already have this established. You get to trust them to hold the Bitcoin. You create a non-taxable event and you get to hold your Bitcoin. On top of it, you get the car. And on top of that, you get to build your credit up. You get to pay the monthly. If you have bad credit or you don't have good credit yet, you get to pay the bills every month against your Tesla. So you give the collateral to get the car, to keep your Bitcoin and never pay taxes on your Bitcoin, to also then build your credit up too. It's like win, 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 win across the board. It's like, why would you not do this? Elon, Tesla, do this. Mr. T got no chill. Got no chill, man. Use certain numbers on that. Calm down with the numbers, man. He goes, Satoshi is not a real person. NSA created blockchain in 1996. Ran with script. Bitcoin is central bank is a CBDC beta test. You know, I don't know if I buy that. I don't know, because the thing is, it's like you would, if it was that, then it wouldn't be universal. It wouldn't be universal. It wouldn't be able to be mined with our own miners. A token. Now, if it was a token, I could agree with that. That's the problem, Mr. T. It's not a token. They mined it. So we have a decentralized miners that are actually creating this Bitcoin. And it's kind of, I mean, I was looking at how much Bitcoin is owned by certain wallets, and the distribution is actually getting wider and wider and wider. It's actually not tightening. There's becoming more and more wallets that are holding more than one Bitcoin in these wallets. So it's actually widening. So I don't know. It doesn't seem to, if it was a tokenized structure that just had, you know, 21 million Bitcoin, boop, right away. There was no individual miners. There was no decentralized mining structure where anybody could get an ASICs computer to mine the Bitcoin. I mean, and the computing power, these are top of the line computers, these ASICs computers that are making these Bitcoin, these mining operations. It's sound money. It's sound money. I've really spent a lot of time looking into this, and these individuals that are looking deeper into this Chamath Paul Habatia, the Max Kaisers, the Michael Saylors. Michael Saylor is actually, from MIT. He's a graduate from MIT, and he's got a huge team of people that are all scholars looking very deep into the intricacies of Bitcoin. I just don't see what you're saying. I don't see what you're saying. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if it was a tokenized structure where they just said, hey, there's 21 million of them, boom, and trust us, it's money, and it came from nowhere, then I would go, okay, that makes sense. But the way it was developed, the mining structure, and the fact that it's not already mined all the way, it's not like the government controls all the mining operations. These are individual mining operations that are actually, they're trying to crack down on them. In places like China and all these different places, they're actually trying to crack down on the miners because they're, making money. So it's like they don't have control of this. There is no control over Bitcoin. So I just don't see it. They have control over the exchanges on how to get the Bitcoin out or get the money in. It's like they can see that. But once it's in the network of Bitcoin, there's no control over it. And I would imagine that I trust these big guys like Elon Musk and Saylor and Rob Paul and all these guys. They really spent a lot of time on this. So I just don't buy that. I don't buy that myself, but I appreciate where you're coming from. Now, like if it was in the way, like the way Dogecoin was created and the tokens were just poofed into existence, then I could buy that. But I don't buy into that. Oh, we're already past 30 minutes, aren't we? 36 minutes. I want to keep these live streams a little bit short. On this one, I want to be able to post it and get this information out there. I'll tell you guys what, though. We get the like counter. We get the like counter to 120. If the like counter goes to 120, I'll do another 30 minutes. But if the like counter goes to 120, that means you guys really want me to be here, and I'll stay here if you guys want to get it to 120. But otherwise, we've got to keep these live streams a little bit shorter so people can watch them later that missed out on. But I'll even help it out. I'll bust out the pillow. Get this to 120 likes. I will flip the timer over there and we'll do another 30 minutes if you guys want to do that. If we get to 120 likes. David Arnold, I really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that donation. That's really generous of you. He says, there is a reason why silver squirrels like both Bitcoin and silver. They both have fundamental principles of sound money. Well said, David. Well said. I mean, in the digital realm, put it this way, in the physical realm, I think there is no better way to hold money than silver. Like in the physical realm, collectibles, silver, platinum, gold, these are all things that I think to myself, there is no better way. This is real sound money. This is how, I hold my money in the physical realm. In the digital realm, and keep in mind, 93% of our money is already digital in the fiat world. The options are very limited on where you hold your money in the digital realm. Do you trust a commercial bank and their $250K FDIC insured thing that gives you nothing? You literally lose money year over year to inflation by keeping your money in these commercial banks. Not only do you lose money year over year to keep it in their digital commercial bank, but when you check that number on your screen, whether it's Chase or Wells Fargo or B of A or wherever your bank, that's not a blockchain based number. That's not based on any ledger. That's not there's nothing there. It's just a number on a screen that you trust is your money in their account. And this bank can go bankrupt. Excuse me. And there are individual companies that can go bankrupt, these banks. It's far different than Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, you have access to all of your funds at any given time. Like, I highly doubt any government entity would want you to have access to all of your funds at any given time, completely decentralized outside of the banking institutions on a little drive. Like, no, I don't. The more I think about that the logic behind that, it makes no sense. It just, I don't buy that. I love you, Mr. T, but I don't buy that. And I think time will go on. You'll see. He goes, Beach Jedi 101. Are you into spots like BlockFi? It has worried me because you no longer own your asset once you deposit. They use your capital for lending. I have heard about them. I talked about them a little bit in the live stream. I really appreciate the donation, Beach Jedi 101, by the way. It's like after that whole, like, you remember that BitConnect? Trust us at BitConnect. That didn't work out too well. So from what I have heard from other YouTubers, I think like Meet Kevin did a thing on him where he like looked into it on a deeper level, talked to the CEO and whatnot, and he says that he trusts him, or he keeps a lot with him, like almost $1 million, I think he keeps with them. Personally, I don't. I keep mine in hard wallets. I keep mine. I own my Bitcoin. I have full control of it. I'm a maximalist, so it would make sense. This is why I want Tesla to do this, because I want to keep my Bitcoin and I want a Tesla. So this would be ideal for me. And now imagine they could really like work in things like make interest like BlockFi, and they could do those types of incentives. I mean, literally they could hire the world's top financial advisors, have like an actual separate entity called, Tesla Capital. They literally could call it, like have their own Goldman Sachs branch of Tesla in a way. Like Goldman buys small companies and is the bank at the same time. Like this is not it's not abnormal to do something like this. I think Tesla will come out with, Tesla Capital Holdings in a way. I think that really is the next thing. And so I would trust Tesla much more than I would trust BlockFi. In the near term, I think owning all of my Bitcoin is going to be so much more beneficial to me than giving it to somebody else to hold. There's just too many things up in the air and it's too valuable to me. So I would have to dig into it more before I ever recommended something like BlockFi, even if they wanted to be an advertiser with me or something. And people are telling me that it's like, oh, your channel's getting bigger, you should get some advertisers or whatnot. I'm going to grill them. Like I got that thing where I like, if a Ferrari comes up, I'll find a scratch on a Ferrari and I'll be like, it's a nice car, but what's up with the scratch on the fender over there? It's a problem. It's a blessing and a curse in a way, but I'll grill anybody that is trying to advertise with me. I know that a lot of YouTubers advertise the BlockFi thing, but I would have to look into it deep before I ever said it was a good idea. But that's a great question, Beach Jedi. I guess I don't know if I answered it directly, but as of right now, not for me. Although I would look deeper into it. Jared Houston says, hey, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. You gave a really generous donation. Let me get to this question here. Jared Houston says, what Bitcoin was and what it is now is different. Bitcoin can change just like everything in the world. Bitcoin is being hijacked by exchanges, namely tether exchanges like Bitfinex and Binance. I'm not exactly like, trust me, I'm not a guru in this. I'm not speaking from a definite perspective. As of right now, I don't see anything better than Bitcoin in the digital realm. I have to store capital in the digital realm. I have to. If I keep it in dollars, I'm going to be losing. I think the real inflation rate, people might think I'm crazy, but I think the real inflation rate is like 10, 20% per year. And that's when I'm talking about gas and I'm talking about lumber. Anybody else have builders as friends? Anybody else? We got 125 people in this live stream. I think that there's other people that have builders as friends. And my friends that are builders are saying like, we can't stay the quote for 1 week will change dramatically from 1 week to the next week. So we can't do like they used to be able to do a quote that was good for like a month or two. Now their quotes are only good by the week because lumber is going up so much week over week. So the real inflation rate is not 2.2 or 2.4% like they're saying. I think the real inflation rate is way, way higher than that. And so if I'm keeping my money in dollars in a bank, my money, I don't really trust a bank in the first place because they can go bankrupt, and FDIC insured doesn't mean anything to me really. And I don't make any interest on it. I just give them a free loan to be sketchy. It's like, you're sketchy and I'm going to give you a free loan on top of that. Like, nah, you can kick rocks, bank. Like, I'm not really into that. So that option to me is out of the situation. Then I can keep it in metals, which I do. That's my physical money, but my digital money, it's like there isn't anything better than Bitcoin. So everything can change over time. And if put it this way, if there was something that could get me to sell my Bitcoin, it would be that something that came up that was better. If something comes up that's better than Bitcoin, better than the ASICs mining system, better than these computers that are running, but you gotta remember, this is like the top of the line technology that is running these mining operations. It's not like some cheapy computer from the past. These are the top of the line ASICs computers. It's pretty advanced. So if it would have to, something better would have to come out, and I don't rule that out of the picture. Something better could come out, and as of right now, Bitcoin is a Learjet and everything else is like a car to me. And I'm like, yeah, the Learjet's better. That's better. It's fast. It's efficient. It's decentralized. It's got everything I'm looking for. I'll go with the Learjet. And until, something goes by that's, some electric Learjet that goes twice as fast and, lifts off vertically or something and all these different things, like, okay, that one is better. We're going to go to that one now. But as of right now, Bitcoin's number one. And so that's how I look at it. But does that take out of the possibility realm that something better can come out? Sure. But it's like, I'm almost like, I've said this in the past, but I'm like thankful and surprised that Bitcoin exists right now. It's like almost like a gift from above, like alien technology. It's like, here you go, humans. This will solve your problems. Here you go. Figure it out. Like that's the only thing I could come up with in my mind. But you can't do what Bitcoin can do with gold. You just can't. And I can very easily take apart the idea that you can back your gold to a blockchain and use a blockchain based gold money like Peter Schiff has suggested in the past. It's so easy to disprove this. You have to trust a custodian. So if you wanted to make a Bitcoin for gold or whatever, and you use gold as the collateral, somebody has to hold the gold. And every single time throughout history, when there is a custodian trusted with the gold, they always steal it. Like, that's what happens. It's like, oh, you trust us with the gold? We're going to say we're cool for a little bit. And once we figure this out and we get more power than you, we're going to steal it. That's what they do. That's what our own government did. We trusted them with the gold. They held our gold. Oh, yeah, you want to buy stuff? Okay, here's these little pieces of paper. They're IOU notes. They call them gold and silver certs. We'll hold it for you. No problem. 1971 comes along, and it's ours. Not giving it back. It's like, no, I don't want to trust a custodian again. Bitcoin allows you to have full access to your money at any given time. And you don't need to trust a custodian. You are the custodian. For the cost of a little $100, $200 wallet, you are now a reserve bank that has full access to your funds at any given time and can send it anywhere that you want, whenever you want, 24/7, with miners across the entire world. It's like, until something that comes out that's better than that, I don't want to hear the other things until there's something that's better than that. But that doesn't take away from owning physical money. It doesn't take away from owning silver. Silver is my number one position for a reason. Platinum and silver account for like 60% of my net worth. Just platinum and silver. All the money that I'm worth, 60% of it is platinum and silver. So obviously I believe in precious metals, but I don't see the in the digital realm, I don't see anything better than Bitcoin. But we're getting a little bit off topic, but I wanted to just kind of say why I believe in Bitcoin. And it's not exactly new. It's been around for, 13 years now? 12, 13 years, Bitcoin. So our fiat currency has only been around for 50 years. That's what people forget. It wasn't always like this. This is a 50-year test trial with fiat currency. They started in 1971. Ironically, it's exactly 50 years this year, 2021. So a 50-year-old test trial with this fiat currency. And hey, what's up, Pierce? Pierce did get a 5-ounce platinum from me. What's up, man? And you can send your favorite YouTubers crypto anytime. Silver Ape News. See, that's the thing. It's like Bitcoin should be embraced by the precious metals community. And I hope that I start that movement or I think it already started without me, but I'm one of the few people that says, this is beautiful. It's elegant. We can move money decentralized, metals for Bitcoin. It's like the intermediary is so brilliant. And I hope that the tax laws change in the future so that we don't have to be such maximalists with our Bitcoin, so that we can use our Bitcoin as a trading mechanism. Like, I want to trade my Bitcoin for this, and I don't have to consider that a taxable event because it was a trade. It wasn't, me selling the Bitcoin. I traded it. They need to rewrite the laws, but I don't know how that'll happen. Yeah, there's a lot that I would want to talk about with that. But let me see here. Rubicon, I appreciate that, man. He says, how do you feel about Litecoin? Thoughts on buying Coinbase IPO right away or waiting a little while? Really good questions. You know, Litecoin, the argument for Litecoin is that you can't buy your coffee with your Bitcoin. It takes like 30 minutes or, I mean, honestly, I get confirmation sometimes within like seconds. Like, so I've literally gotten a confirmation from, you know, across the country in like seconds. But sometimes confirmations take like 30 minutes with Bitcoin, especially in smaller amounts, I think. So if it's only like $5 or something, it takes a while for the confirmation to go through. Litecoin stands to be that quick payment mechanism. So you transfer your Bitcoin to Litecoin and then you can buy your coffee real quick with your Litecoin and stuff. So it does have that going for it where it's just a quicker way to transact. Will it be the one that succeeds? You know, it's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, those are the top three really. So, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Personally, for me, it's not adopted, so I'm not willing to be in it. I want to buy things that I truly believe in with major conviction right now. If you want to know how to make like millions and millions, it's like you go into something with intensity. I think diversification is like when you're protecting your nest egg, but when you want to build the nest egg, like if you want to really get together that first chunk of capital, it's like intensifying on that investment. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my personal opinion, not to be taken as financial advice. But the best thing that I could think of is like if you truly find what you truly believe in and buy it with conviction and really spend a lot of time developing that thesis, I couldn't put the same amount of money that I have in Bitcoin into Litecoin. I wouldn't sleep well at night. Bitcoin already hurts my sleep sometimes because it's crazy, you know, but I couldn't sleep at all if it was all in Litecoin or something because I just don't have the same conviction. And so for me, it's like I see no reason to hold Litecoin right now. But in the future, that might change. If you see like Amazon adopts Litecoin or something like that happens where there's major adoption, or Tesla starts talking about Litecoin or something happens, then I'll get big into Litecoin. But I don't see the same type of news. Like I don't take it in a small way. I have always valued Tesla based off of Elon Musk's following. You got to understand that he is a marketing machine. They don't have to pay for any marketing. That is so much money that Tesla saves because their CEO is a world-renowned famous guy. You know, it's like that is the easiest way to sell. Elon Musk could literally sell out of anything. And he's proven that with Boring Company hats and flamethrowers and all kinds of stuff. He just drops it and it's sold immediately because he has 50 million people following his Twitter. Now, if he doesn't mess that up and get kicked off of Twitter, now that would actually be an extremely, people don't even take that into consideration. It's like if he lost his Twitter feed and got kicked off of Twitter or something like that, that would be a tremendous blow to Tesla. Tremendous. Reaching out to 50 million people instantaneously that are just waiting to see whatever you say next. That is so powerful. Like really wrap your mind around how powerful that is. He has 50 million followers on his Twitter. It's wild. Wild. The power behind that and the fact that on his top of his Twitter, it's pinned that you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. I don't take that in a light way. You know, maybe other people go, oh, it's just a tweet, whatever. No, it's a tweet specifically about Bitcoin and being able to use it to buy things to 50 million people at once. This is a really big deal. It's a really, really big deal in my mind. Maybe I'm a little bit passionate and over the top about it, but I don't take that in a light way at all. Not even a little bit. But I guess that's my little ramble on it. And then on Coinbase's IPO, I think Coinbase makes a ton of money. Coinbase does a great job. Like as a company, like as a machine, they make a lot of money. They're extremely profitable. So I would want to get in personally if the IPO is under 100 billion. If it reaches over 100 billion, I'll probably sit on my hands and see if there's going to be a pullback. But if it's under 100 billion, I might get in on it. I might watch that one because I think that the transfer, I think there will be select winners. I mean, if a company's making more profit than the valuation is, obviously there's going to be select winners in the stock market, even in a crash. Coinbase is one of those ones that would actually benefit from a crash because people would be trying to get out of their dollars and put it into Bitcoin. And so Coinbase, I would imagine that even right now, there's probably statistically a spike. I would bet on that there's a spike of $1,400 deposits into Coinbase right now with people putting their stimulus into Coinbase. I would imagine there's a spike of $1,400 deposits. Something just tells me that, because that meme going around like, oh, you'd have over $10,000 if you put your first stimulus check into Bitcoin, that meme that went around, I think that a lot of people took that to heart. So yeah, I'm bullish Coinbase, mainly because they make money. You take apart their balance sheet, they're making a lot of money as a company, and they do some tricky stuff in there. Hey, Mr. T, calm down, man. Calm down. you gotta chill on these comments, man. You're saying all these crazy things in there. Just chill. There's nothing against silver. I'm big on silver, but I think that there's definitely a place for Bitcoin. Bitcoin and silver can be coexisting. They can do the same. They can be together. There's no hate from silver on Bitcoin. Or from Bitcoin on silver. What's so funny to me is the precious metals bugs are so they're like, the hatred really stems from the precious metals community towards Bitcoin and crypto. Like it's actual, like it stems from the precious metals community, because the Bitcoin people are always, and I see this firsthand, where they're like, I'd like some precious metals too. Yeah, I would like some silver too. That'd be cool. They're usually not like with intent, like, oh, this is a scam, Bitcoin's gonna fail. They're not like, silver's gonna fail, it's a scam. It's like, no, I'll take some of that too. That sounds pretty good. Like there's always this like intense like bitterness from the precious metals community. I am a precious metals bug myself. I have both, and I have more precious metals than I do Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean that I need to be adamantly against Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's beautiful. Yeah, every major bullion dealer accepts crypto. It's true. They accept crypto. Even Peter Schiff himself accepts Bitcoin on his website. I haven't gotten over that yet. It's like, even though I know he's converting it immediately to dollars or whatever, it's still extremely funny that you would put that on your website, that you would accept Bitcoin. That's hilarious. It's pretty funny. But yeah, there's really no reason that they both can't be together. And honestly, for me, it's like, I don't have enough money in Bitcoin that if it fell to zero, my quality of life would change. That's how I look at Bitcoin. I think if my entire thesis on Bitcoin is this: it's foolish to go all in, and it's equally foolish to have none. Maybe at this point I don't want to sell half, but I could sell half and just go like, okay, well, now the rest is free on the house or whatever. But the main thing for me is, if Bitcoin went to zero, it wouldn't affect my quality of life. And I think that the upside is so tremendous that it would be foolish for me to not have any of it. That's how I feel about Bitcoin. I'm not somebody that just says only Bitcoin, sell all your metals for Bitcoin. I'm not that guy. I'm still buying more metals. I like my metal. I especially love my silver and my platinum, and I think it is just wildly suppressed right now. It's honestly sickening. The physical price of metals compared to where the spot price is right now I haven't seen a divide like this. It is staying too. Usually you'll see the premium crash, but it's just staying and going higher and getting more and more distance. And it's just wild to me to see this right now. Even on like the large, people buying millions of dollars wholesale level, the premiums are still there. They haven't tightened at all. If anything, they've widened. So it's just sickening what they're getting away with in the manipulation of silver and precious metals. Silver just spiked. It better. Right now, silver should be way higher than it is right now. And the dollar index going up right now. We live in a very strange world, and I should but at the end of this, I should do this is an hour-long live stream. That's a good place to stop it at 1 hour. I would, I will stay live all night if I don't stop it at some point. But we live in a crazy world where you can inject 40% of the entire dollar monetary supply in less than a year remember, it's been around for 50 years, this fiat currency of dollars, the fiat currency aspect of it. And in 1 year, they've injected 40% of its total supply, and it's gone up in value. The dollar index has gone up, and silver has gone down or stayed flat. And it's like, So you mean to tell me a limited asset that they're getting delivered from the COMEX and they're running out of it to give deliveries, and all these major bullion places like Perth Mint and stuff are running out of silver, and they're saying there's a delay to get, oh no, we have it, but it's only going to take you 5 months to get your silver or whatever. Oh, we have it, but it's only going to take a long time to get you. It's like, no, you don't have it, and you're delaying for a reason. Let's be real here, Perth Mint. But we have a situation where the demand is outpacing the supply with silver, and it goes down, but they can inject 40% of the money supply, and inflation doesn't go up in the way that we think it would go up, and the dollar index goes up. It's like, nah, I'm not buying it. We live in a very strange world where this can happen. And at the end of the day, you can't put a paper short contract in a car. You can't put a paper short contract in a solar panel. You need the metal. And at some point, enough is enough. And I think the people will have the silver, and it will go up. It's sickening how artificially suppressed the metals market is. It makes me. I was going to just check the metal. Someone just said it spiked. Let's see. Let's do a little update. I mean, that's not a spike to me. It's like silver should be jumping $2 a day. $2-3 a day is what I see silver doing. It just went up 16 cents. That's not a spike to me. I think silver right now, if I was to put a valuation on silver right now, I would say it should be like 75. With all the money that's been injected, minimum 75, 100. But it's not. It's at 25. So to me, that's opportunity. And that's something I can buy with conviction, just like I'm buying Bitcoin with conviction as well right now. That's how I feel about it. But with that being said, I had said like 120 likes, I'd do 30 more minutes. That was like 30 minutes ago. So I just stayed for 30 more minutes. But it hypes me up when everybody, this dude sold his Bitcoin apparently. No, I didn't. AC3. Don't be putting that out there. That's not true. And I'll tell you exactly why I haven't sold mine. I don't want to have to pay gains. Let me see here. But that's how you guys know I don't have any moderators in here. You'll see people criticizing me. You'll see everything in the comment section because I don't want to do a moderator. Mainly because I can't even figure it out. But on top of that, it's good to be able to get all the different points of view. But yeah, there's some people might not agree with me. Some people do agree with me. If you smash the like button, I would really appreciate it. If you do agree with me, if you don't agree with me, write a comment on why you don't so we can all learn together. Bitcoin is being repressed this week. Futures ends Friday. Could be part of it. Could be part of it. I appreciate that, Michael Reed. Let's go through a couple more. We'll do a few more comments. I'm at 1 hour and 2 minutes, so we'll do this live stream until like, let's say 1 hour and 10 minutes. So 7 more minutes. We'll stay live for 7 more minutes for a few more comments in here. I'll stay for 7 more minutes. How about that? Stussy says, I agree and disagree with you. And that's where you should be. You don't trust everything I say. What I say here is not to be taken as financial advice. What I want to be known for on YouTube is to like plant a seed. That's what I want to be known for. If there's one thing that I want to do with my YouTube channel is to, maybe people didn't realize that that it's a taxable event to buy something with your Bitcoin. And maybe people didn't realize that Tesla could be a bank accepting collateral and you get to hold your Bitcoin and all of that. These are the things that I wanted. You might not agree with that, but I wanted to put that information out there because it gets us thinking. These types of ideas, whether they're right or wrong, it gets us to start a thought in our head. And then you eventually, after bouncing information back and forth, it's how we learn, So I might be wrong, and I probably am wrong about a lot of stuff. But this way, by putting this out there in the universe and we bounce this information out there, we get closer to whatever is correct. You know? But that's what I'm not looking to be like, oh, I'm 100% right. Everything I say is correct. Like, no, that's not who I am. Not to be taken as financial advice. I could be completely wrong. Were you talking about Ledger Nano X, the new model? Yes, I was. The thing is, that little metal thing, it's like super cheap feeling. I just really didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I'm sorry, Ledger. I'm sorry. It just wasn't for me. I mean, I think what I got to do is just take out a bunch of silver one day and just like, I do it. I used to do it, and maybe I have to keep doing it where I put the eye candy silver, but it ends up making me look like I'm just arrogant or something. And I just go like, why do you have 1,000 ounces of silver there? Because it's like to remind people I'm a silver squirrel. Like, there it is. Here's my silver position right here. You know, here's some silver. Maybe in every one of my videos, I do put in the back of my videos, there's 200 ounces of silver right there on my bookshelf, you know, so every video I'll put silver somewhere. I'll sprinkle silver around to remind everybody like I am a silver squirrel. Silver squirrel. That term was created on this channel. So it's like, I want to be somebody that can look at Bitcoin and go, I see the beauty here. I see the beauty here, and I see how this can get big. You know, the one thing I don't see is I don't see institutional money going into gold. Like, I just don't see it. I haven't heard, you know, is Tesla accepting gold for their car? They're not. But silver is in that car. So I like silver because they use the silver. But I don't see them buying gold or accepting metal as money. You know, that whole argument that this is money, I don't see places accepting it as money. I see that it was supposed to be the backing for our money, but it hasn't come through yet. So I believe in the industrial metal that they actually have to use. And that's where I am with precious metals, you know? But like I said, metal is my number one position, and it always will be. Seriously, get a block clock. I'll look into it. A block clock. More than one person said that. All right, I'll look into a block clock. World is changing too. Trezor is better. I actually do like the Model T. I will say that I have a Model T, and it's very user friendly. The Model T is where your seed is stored, and you have to connect it to the website, the Trezor website, and then you use the browser of the website to be able to use your Bitcoin and to see your Bitcoin. And it's very good software. It's well done. The Ledger, it just is not the same user friendliness of it. The Trezor, I wish they made it a little bigger. They should have made it just a little bigger so that the touching of the pin, is better. But I don't like to comment on these hard wallets until I actually use them myself, and I have been using the Trezor for a while, and it's pretty well done. And I like how it gives you fresh addresses. Every time you use it, it gives you a fresh address, and then when you want to use your Bitcoin, it pools all of them together. It's designed very well. It's designed well. Picture behind you. What's the name? That's a Banksy replication of a Banksy artwork. Can I have Chris Dwayne on? Sure. I mean, I've been on his channel actually, but yeah, that would be awesome. But all right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. We're at an hour and eight minutes. We'll go a little bit longer. But I want to do these live streams so that I can post them. And if somebody misses them, it's like I can spend an hour watching this, and I don't want to basically. If you want to be in my live streams in the future, please do smash that subscribe button down below. And if I missed your question, shoot me a DM on Instagram. At Rob Sultan on Instagram is my Instagram. At Rob Sultan, you can't miss it. And on Twitter, I'm RJ Sultan on Twitter. Or is it Rob J? I think it's RJ Sultan on Twitter. If you just search Rob Sultan, it'll pop up on Twitter. But I'm starting the Twitter thing now, and so those are my main platforms. I gotta be selective because there's only so much time in the day, and social media can really be consuming on you, especially when your business is all social media based as well and online based. So it's just like Finding the time in the day has been a lot for me. But I always find the time to do at least one live stream a week, if not more. I'll probably do a lot more content over this weekend. I have a lot of videos planned out. I want to talk about NFTs. This is one of my next videos I'm going to do. And so I'm going to start dropping more clip videos on the channel. And if you want to see those, please do just hit that subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Click the red subscribe down below. You click the bell and all notifications. You'll be notified of all future videos on this channel. I go live kind of impromptu. Today was an impromptu live. And if you want to be notified, just click the red subscribe, bell, all notifications. Would love to have you in the community on the channel. If this is the first time watching this channel, would love to have you here. Again, my Instagram is Rob Sultan and my Twitter is RJ Sultan on Twitter. Shoot me a DM if I miss your question over here and I will get back to you. Tell me you're not into NFTs, Rob. All right, I'll very quickly tell you on NFTs. No, I'm not into NFTs. I think they're very foolish. There is a good use for NFTs, and I'm going to save that for the video. There is a very good thing about NFTs in regards to proving that you have something in a way. But it's a long conversation, and I want to get that in a new video. But no, I am not big on just the digital NFTs, like having the digital NFTs. I mean, like it's in Fortnite, you can pay $10 or whatever for a certain skin for your character or whatever. I'm not into that. I think that that's kind of foolish to part in the whole like online digital museum. You can just screenshot it and you have the photo of that. It's like, great, you own the digital piece of that, but you can just screenshot it and enjoy it the same way that the person who owns the digital piece can enjoy it. Like, I don't buy that. But you could prove that I own a Mona Lisa. Now, I could own the physical Mona Lisa, and I can prove that I own the physical Mona Lisa by showing somebody that I have the NFT for it. Now that is where it's very valuable. So there is value there. There is value there. But there's just not in the way that $60 million for a digital thing or whatever. Like that's just, I think that that's just some sort of joke or something. It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's how I feel about it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Just smash that red subscribe down below. It's totally free. And you'll be notified of all future videos on this channel. Hope that there was some value here. I hope that there were some things that you didn't think about that came to you. And if you agree with me, smash that like button and save down below some stuff I might have missed out on. If you don't agree with me, you know, post a comment on why you don't agree with me. And I would love to get back to you in the comments down below. And I'm sure everybody else would love to hear your opinion on this subject. Have a great rest of your night and looking forward to dropping the next video for you all. Signing out.